Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, safe here in my lockdown, bringing you the top stories from Israel and surrounds every Monday to Thursday on this platform from this very room and also on YouTube. And if you would like to receive your daily news updates from Monday to Thursday, all you have to do is click on our subscribe button and you'll be notified every time we post. But let's get into it. Let's look at those top stories, and we begin with COVID-19 and the vaccinations and where we are at the moment. So while Israel's infection rate is still high and we are rolling out those vaccines, in fact, the health ministry announced today that they will be lowering the age to 50. So anybody from the ages of 50 and up can receive their vaccine. But what is interesting is the data or the research that is coming out of the vaccine program. And what has been found, according to Israeli researchers, that at least 50% of infections have come down as a result of the Pfizer vaccine. They said anybody over the age of 60 who has had their first Pfizer shot, they have seen a reduction in the amount of infections. And Israeli HMO or healthcare provider Clalit has said that out of the 200,000 people that they have researched over 60 who had received the first round of the Pfizer vaccine, there had been a reduction of the infection rate by 33%. So good news indeed. And who are we kidding? We could do with a lot of good news. And it was also announced by Israel's Ministry of Diaspora Affairs that Israel will assume responsibility for vaccinating Holocaust survivors around the world. The Minister of Diaspora Affairs says that it is an honor and a moral duty to look after Holocaust survivors and at least help them by giving them the vaccine. So we're going to watch the story and see how they plan to roll this out worldwide. I mean, we know that sadly we are losing more and more survivors as age progresses, and we have lost many to the virus, but hopefully we can protect those remaining wherever in the world they may be. Now we turn to the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who made a dramatic announcement yesterday. He announced that it has been discovered that Qaeda, who we really haven't heard from for quite a while, has set up a base in Iran. He said that they are partners in terror and partners in hate. However, the Secretary of State has received quite a lot of criticism from officials, saying that there wasn't enough information to substantiate it. But it's going to be very interesting to see where the Secretary of State based his information on and what repercussions come out of that. And our final story, tributes pour in from around the world for billionaire philanthropist Sheldon Adelson, who passed away yesterday at the age of 87. Adelson was the son of Lithuanian immigrants and built his fortune as the owner of the Las Vegas Sands Casino. Now, he was an extraordinary man, and while he did support candidates politically, he was a known supporter of Republican candidates and was a supporter of the Trump campaign, and also Prime Minister Netanyahu. He was an extraordinary philanthropist, supporting numerous Jewish organizations and institutions, as well as giving a lot of money to research on cancer and other diseases. He was a firm supporter of Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial and Museum right here in Jerusalem, as well as the Taglit Birthright program, which has allowed thousands of Jewish children from around the world to visit Israel, some who have had no ties to Israel or to their Jewish heritage. He has given them that presence, and his loss will be felt by everybody around the Jewish world and anybody who cares about Israel and the building of Israeli society. He will be buried in Israel with a memorial to take place at a further date. And we send our heartfelt condolences to his widow Miriam and also to his family. He was a giant of the Jewish world, and may his memory be blessed. Those are the top stories making headlines today. But don't forget that if you want some lockdown learning or just some reading, you can check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. There's an article up there from me called Kristallnacht Comparison. It's about this scary new trend of comparing political issues online or offline to Kristallnacht. It will also be up on our Facebook page shortly, and if you haven't joined our growing community, please do so by giving us a like or a follow and inviting your friends to do the same. And we're on Twitter as well, where you can find us at Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5, as well as that YouTube channel we mentioned earlier at the Israel Brief. So with the Wednesday edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, gearing up for a very cold and rainy next few days. But hey, where am I going? And I wish you a safe and healthy rest of your day, and we'll meet again tomorrow.